here we are back again, part 2 of this Q&A video. Adam from Facebook sent me 4 questions, so I'm basically covering all 4 of those in this one video. And he gave me some pretty good ones. So let's get right into it here. His first question is: do you think Tribute to the Troops should become an actual pay-per-view instead of an hour-long event? The Tribute to the Troops show, it kind of stays true to storylines sometimes, but the main the main thing with the Tribute to the Troops show is that that they go over there to entertain the troops, and not necessarily for storyline purposes or whatever. They do it to entertain just the troops. So with it being an actual pay-per-view, I wouldn't mind seeing it as a 2-hour event, like it'd be Raw, or like a special or something. But as far as an actual pay-per-view, I think it's good the way it is for the Tribute to Troops show, the way it is, the way it's booked and all that, because at least the ones I remember have not really kept with the storylines. Yeah, you might have the matches here and there that we go along with the storylines, but there's not really the storyline aspect to it, if that makes sense. So the next question was, on websites like NoDQ.com and PWI, they say it's being reported that TNA wants Heyman as a booker. Not Booker T, not that Booker. Other than Paul Heyman, who would you think could make a good booker or bookers for TNA, and why? And that is a good question. And that's actually a tough question. I think Paul Heyman would be good for the company, only because he's helped develop stars like Mr. Kennedy and them, and Mr. Kennedy was really, I thought he was over with the crowd here before he got released. So that there's talk of maybe Taz filling the roles of Savio Vega and Dutch Mantel. I think Taz might be able to bring some good, interesting stuff to the table, especially if him and Paul Heyman work together. It's going to probably be good stuff, and they might even have some ECW type stuff in there to help TNA maybe stand out. I don't know. TNA's in a rough spot right now, honestly, and as far as bookers, I don't know. It's hard to say who you could get as a booker. And that's really a tough question, but Taz and Paul Heyman would be 2 top names that would be good to get in there and maybe get something rolling as far as storylines and all that goes. So the next question: do you think pro wrestling has reached a point where it does not need stables like the World Elite, Legacy, Main Event Mafia, and managers and valets like Taz and Sharmell? I will say this: stables and managers and valets and all that help the wrestling business a great deal, because if you have somebody that can't really talk that well on the mic, and you have some other people in the group, but that one person is a good wrestler, then pretty much you bring them all together, and there you are. Eric Young's promo on the World Elite promo, and where he shaved his head and all that was a good promo. You don't really see Sheik Abdul-Bashir and Kiyoshi, as well as Brutus Magnus and the rest of them. You don't really see them talk much on the mic, but they're good in the ring. So there's always going to be a point to where stables and managers and all that are needed. One person that stands out in my mind, and he's an independent manager, and as far as I know, he's still working the indie scene and whatnot. And he actually, I got on the HWA website, which is actually one of the next questions that he mentions. But and that's Brock Guffman. Brock Guffman is an amazing manager, and he has great mic skills. And really, I will tell this: when I was in high school, there was a pep rally, and I actually kind of impersonated, in a way, Brock Guffman to an extent. because I had to be a bad guy character, I had to be the other team's mascot, and whatnot. And basically, where I had to be a heel, basically, Brock Guffman was one of the probably best indie scene heel managers I've yet to see. He's just great, and because the people that he usually managed and all that probably didn't necessarily have the greatest mic skills, he could do the talking for them, and that's what a manager is actually technically supposed to be there for, is to do the talking for the actual wrestler. So I think there's going to be a point where, stables and all that are going to be needed, no matter how far it goes down the line. Stables and managers and valets are something that wrestling is always going to have, and they're always going to need. So, and the last question here is, what do you think of Andre Hart from HWA being signed to WWE as a ref? And when you were watching HWA, could you see potential talent that could possibly be signed to TNA or WWE? And he mentions Deja Vu and Irish Airborne as two people that he likes. The last time I remember watching HWA, they had the Black Militia, which was Patrick Black, who was, if I'm not mistaken, the commissioner of HWA at the time, and you had I believe it was Deuce and or not. Well, he went by Deuce, and you had Brian Jennings, and you had two more people. I can't remember completely off the top of my head. But really, the Black Militia was a good, strong stable, and a lot of those guys. Brian Jennings is actually wrestling for NWF up in Ohio right now, and he's a great wrestler. He's a great talent. But Rory Fox was another one. He did have some matches. There was a Matt Striker in HWA, not the one that we see on ECW, but there was a Matt Striker on HWA who was a great wrestler. Cody Hawk, he was a great wrestler, and I thought those guys could be potential big main players in WWE, or at least in the mid-card division, because they were good wrestlers. Brother Clay, Jackson Breeze is another good manager, and even I can't think of his name right now, but him and Brother Clay were a tag team. They were called Southern Breeze, and you know what? They had potential to be a good team and all that in WWE or TNA. It's been a while since I've seen HWA. I got on the website the other day, like I said, and looked around a little bit, and there's some I'm not really seeing much of Andre Hart. I'm sure there's probably YouTube videos I can look him up and whatnot, but as far as talent goes, back then those were the main guys that I thought could be potential mid-carders in WWE or TNA, and maybe even, if it worked out quite well, main event. So thank you all for your questions that you've sent in. Keep sending them in. I like doing these Q&A videos and getting my thoughts out there. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and all them websites, Blogger. So with that being said, that has been my Q&A video. You guys take it easy. Have a great night and enjoy ECW tonight. Peace out.